There was our home for last night, Sucker Brook Shelter. We are heading back to the trail. It is Friday, July 12th. It's 7:12 a.m. Beginning of day 10 of our through hike. As you can see, Tupt has the silver jellyfish deployed. It is raining as we start. I have mine on as well.
Can I show up?
Sure.
Yes. We're both trying out the alternate ring gear.
Yeah. We used them some 3 years ago. This is the first time we've actually deployed them on our hike so far this year. We'll see how long we keep them on. Hopefully it stops raining and we just need to take them off. Just got back to the long trail from the shelter. It's only a 1/10 of a mile, thankfully. But we're heading south towards Brandon Gap. Climb up out of the shelter. So you may be wondering, why do we use umbrellas? So I'd like to be an ultralight guy, but I'm not. I'm just, so I bring rain jacket and rain pants. Those are really hot to hike in. You're gonna get sweaty anyhow, but that's even worse. So I'll reserve those if it's cold and windy and rainy. We wore our rain jackets and pants over Camel's Hump 3 years ago on our through hike because of the conditions. But you don't get nearly as hot under the umbrella. Keeps the core dry, which is an important thing. And they're handy to have in camp, like, you know, going to the outhouse. I mean, if you gotta get out of the tent to go to the bathroom or out of the shelter during the night and it's raining, it's kind of nice to have an umbrella. So that's why we choose to use umbrellas. So when umbrellas meet blowdowns, it can be a bad combination. So as we saw with the blowdown, there are definitely disadvantages to using an umbrella as well. So if you're in a brushy section or a lot of blowdowns, like we were hiking last night, there was a number of brushy and blowdown areas. Umbrella would be definitely a disadvantage then. It actually kind of reflects your body heat back down, so that's another disadvantage. And if you don't get them at just the right kind of angle, blocks your field of view a little bit, but got mine tipped up so it's not too bad. But you're also every tree that you go by, if it's close to the trail, you're kind of rubbing up against that. So there's definitely a lot of reasons not to use them. Often I'll choose just to get wet, but today I'm giving the umbrella a good go and see how it does for me. Tupt likes using hers a lot more than I like using mine.
So, as for way too many, I came across an upturned tree, uprooted. Megamind's taking a little breakfast on trail, so we're calling this a breakfast nook. A couple of peepholes, skylights, depending on which one to look at them as. Kind of a neat space, and one of those you don't really think about until you get an opportunity to see just what's under your feet sometimes. Upward and onward.
Yep.
This is among one of my favorite parts of the trail. It's a ridge walk. It's actually kind of like a natural sidewalk because you've got the stone that you get to walk down through the center, and then oftentimes, when it's not quite so drizzly, you have a bit of a view off of each side as you're going along. Today is a different kind of view. Misty, a little cool. But its own kind of beauty.
This is our view going up Gillespie Peak. Ooh. Ah. Fog. And this is our view from Cape Lookout Mountain. If you have x-ray vision, you can see the Adirondacks to the west and Lake Champlain. But since we don't, we see fog. But it's still beautiful in its own way. We just met Ghost Pipe, and she is going northbound, and she is taking her time and sounds like she's really enjoying it. We've gotten to the trail that go to the Great Cliffs on Mount Horrid. That is a peregrine falcon nesting area. It is closed until August 1st. And so we are going to continue down this way, down to Route 73, Brandon Gap, on to Sunrise Shelter for the evening, I believe. We just completed the Joseph Patel Wilderness and making our way back down to Brandon Gap, Route 73. And then we've just got from there a couple miles up, a little less than 3 miles I think it is, to the new Sunrise Shelter, and pretty sure that's where we're going to stay for the night. We just crossed the road there at Brandon Gap. On to Division 6 of the Long Trail. We didn't do all of Division 7 yet because we only got on kind of in the middle of it. So here we go to Division 6. Heading south. Starting the climb out of Brandon Gap. It's a pretty gentle grade most of the way. And it's 2.5 miles to Sunrise Shelter. This is a sign for letting you know there's a view of the Great Cliffs of Mount Horrid, but you need to take a few steps southbound to then kind of peek through the trees. That's as close as you should be getting until the 1st of August. In comparison to most climbs out of gaps, road crossings, the southbound climb out of Brandon Gap, it's pretty pleasant. It's a nice trail, not terribly steep. We are at the site of the old Sunrise Shelter. It's been dismantled. The new Sunrise Shelter was built last summer, about another 1.5 miles south of here. So we gotta continue that way. So with all the recent rains, gathering water definitely won't be an issue for folks. Once you get south of Brandon Gap, every little stream has got plenty of water in it, so shouldn't need to worry about running out. Going northbound, once you get north of Brandon Gap, there's some pretty good lengths without any stream crossings, but southbound between Brandon Gap and Sunrise Shelter, there is ample water. We have made it to the no name backcountry area. I'll be amazed if one time I come here and it has a name. We have reached the intersection of the Southbound Brook Trail, which goes down that way to Forest Road 45. We're continuing south on the Long Trail. We are like 1 or 2/10 of a mile to the Sunrise Shelter. We have reached the trail to the Sunrise Shelter, and up there, that's where we'll be spending the night.
Showing you the interior of the new Sunrise Shelter. There's a front loft space by the plexiglass windows. Sleep one on each side, and then 2 more down below those. There's a large platform. You could probably fit about 3 people, maybe 4 if it was a bad weather day, on the space that I'm currently sitting. Got these beautiful hewn beams up here. And the joinery. Pretty cool. It's got a metal roof on it. And one of the other benefits of this shelter is the water source. It's nice and cold right now.
This is the end of day recap for day 10, Friday, July 12th. We started this morning at Sucker Brook Shelter. We hiked 8 miles to the new and improved Sunrise Shelter, which is a beautiful shelter. Now we'll start with our gratitude, or grumbles and gratitudes.
My grumble started right off the first thing this morning getting up. I did not want to get up out of bed. It was already raining, and yeah, putting on those wet clothes is kind of tough sometimes, but my gratitude is that there's still air in my lungs, and God's allowing me to continue to have a will to finish this hike, no matter how long it takes us. And so for that, I am grateful.
My grumble is coming to terms with the fact that this is probably just going to be a long section hike, a long, amazing section hike. And my gratitude is that we're going to try to camp at some campsites that we've never stayed at before, so that'll make it fun and different. So we look forward to bringing you more footage tomorrow.
Have a blessed night.